Reaction from Washington to senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, we just heard President Biden speak a few moments ago. What did he say?
Lindsay, President Biden said that he thanked God that the former president was okay. And he also said that it was clear that Secret Service needs more resources. And he thought that Congress should respond to the need in the coming weeks. When asked specifically what it was, whether it was personnel or more money for other things, he said personnel. And so the president speaking out for the first time after the second assassination attempt on the former president as he was heading to Philadelphia.
Yeah, God forbid they ever feel scared of likely gun violence, even for a brief moment. Holy shit. Imagine if they lowered themselves to the standard of a fucking teacher at a public school, you know? Or a child going to kindergarten. Imagine. Yeah, that feeling is reserved for school kids in this country, not presidents or former presidents or current presidents or people running for president. Those are God's chosen people. If you're like an average American, though, yeah, sucks to suck. Gun violence is a reality for you. It's going to happen at a certain point in your life. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
I'm wondering, and I'm going to go ahead and ask our control room if we have that sound now. Can we go ahead and play that?
I think thank God, the president's okay. I think we got a full report so far. We're down there tonight. But one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they, in fact, need more services. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Are you concerned more money, rhetorically in this environment? They need more personnel. They need more money. What kind of help do you say?
I think we need some more personnel. I think they're deciding whether they need more personnel or not.
So, Weijia, this is, we heard from a statement from the White House. Now we're hearing from the president. Do you expect that we may hear from this, for example, when he's in Philadelphia today?
Well, he could bring it up. I mean, he just talked about it, and he's going to Philadelphia for a totally separate event addressing the Nationally Historic Black Colleges meeting.
I want to reiterate that I don't think that Trump needs more Secret Service clearance, or a Secret Service security, because he's not the current president. He's the former president. I want to also state that if it were up to me, I'd lower his current security, okay, because it's far too costly. I'm a small government conservative, as you guys know. I don't believe in spending, okay? I don't believe in all this extra spending. I think that it is abhorrent. We need to trim the fat, okay? I don't believe that the taxpayers should fund Donald Trump's golf outings just because he feels the need that he's going to fucking golf. Okay? I don't know. Call me controversial, but I think there's better uses for that money, like giving it to Israel. That's what I think we should be doing. I'm a small government conservative. I don't think Trump deserves the extra funding. I think Israel deserves it. They're the most moral nation on earth. Ukraine deserves it? No. If we give that money to Ukraine, then you're teaching the shooter the worst lesson. You should instead give it to Israel. Whenever there's any sort of extra money in the couch, you know, in between the couch cushions, I think about how I'll donate it to the state of Israel, the beautiful state. Yeah.
And so I guess there's a chance he could bring it up again, but he tends to like to separate, issues unless he hasn't spoken on it already and it's new. So because he made these remarks, it's hard to say, but probably not, because he's addressing, college students and about historically black colleges around the country. So I'm not.
So this wasn't actually an assassination attempt, right? Media just saying that as a clickbait? No, dog. What? Yeah, it was. Like, he didn't get anywhere near it, but I mean, I think it definitely was. Now, if I was his lawyer, I wouldn't recognize that. If I was his lawyer, I'd say this is a law-abiding citizen who was exercising his Second Amendment rights. Who the fuck are you to tell him he's not able to do that? But if we're being serious, like, yeah, no, I think he's a fucking insane crank. He's an insane crank who was like hyper-focused on Ukraine, who probably wanted to attempt to shoot and kill him. Because in his mind, I think he was like, Trump is in the way of the thing that I care about the most, which is defending Ukraine. So he was like, I'm going to go and take matters into my own hands.
Not sure, but this is obviously going to be an ongoing issue with so many mounting questions about how this could happen again. And the vice president also released a statement saying that she condemns any political violence and that she's just deeply disturbed by what unfolded.
It's awesome because Trump is such a bitch. Look, the rhetoric lies as exemplified by the false statements made by Comrade Kamala Harris during the rigged and highly partisan ABC debate and all of the ridiculous lawsuits specifically designed to inflict damage on Joe's, then Kamala's political opponent, me, has taken politics in our country to a whole new level of hatred, abuse, and distrust. Because of this communist left rhetoric, the bullets are flying, and it will only get worse, allowing millions of people from places unknown. I love that he couldn't, even for the sake of this tweet, dial back the unhinged violent rhetoric. Like, he couldn't even, to make a fucking point, to make a goddamn point, just not say the quiet part out loud again. And he just could not stop himself. Immediately, he's like, the rapist! Violent communist Kamala! Bringing in rapists! They're raping our daughters! Like, immediately. It has nothing to do with the conversation, dumbass. Our borders must be closed. The terrorists, criminals, and mentally insane immediately removed from American cities and towns, deported back to their countries of origin. Oh my God. They're stealing our jobs and our wealth. The world is laughing at us. We cannot let them laugh any longer. Make America great again. It's like, bro, you can't be like, how are you not aware of what you sound like at all? Trump and Biden spoke again. Joe Biden and Donald Trump spoke this afternoon after the second assassination attempt on the former president, per sources familiar with the call. Am I getting in on the Mar-a-Lago Twitter Spaces shit? Abso-fucking-lutely. Here's what Brandon had to say. Here's what pussy-ass Brandon had to say about the second time. By the way, the first time it happened, obviously he got like grazed at least. So there was a lot more interest in it. Second time, it's like barely a mention. By the third time, we're not even going to cover it in the news. I swear to God. They're like, boring. It happened already. He survived. Who gives a shit?
Again, I want to make a quick reference. The attempted assassination against our former president in Florida yesterday. I commend the Secret Service for the expert handling.
Like, this is a totally, this time there's no like addressing the state. You know what I mean? By the third time, he's literally just going to be like, whatever. It happens all the time. Third time, he's going to pardon the guy immediately. Fuck it, YOLO.
In the situation. And the former president is protected from harm and the subject is in custody. An acting head of the Secret Service is in Florida today assessing what happened and determining whether any further adjustments need to be made to ensure the safety of our former president. Let me just say, there is no, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, those of you who know me, many of you do, no place in political violence for political violence in America. None. Zero. Never. I've always condemned political violence. I always will in America. In America, we resolve our differences peacefully, the ballot box, not at the end of a gun. America suffered too many times the tragedy of an assassin's bullet. It solves nothing and just tears the country apart. We must do everything we can to prevent it and never give it any oxygen. Folks, Now to today's event.
And we have new details on the suspect in the second assassination attempt against former President Trump. The sheriff who pulled him over is speaking out, describing him as oddly ambivalent.
I was at the scene, and he had a very, very kind of detached, flat facial affect. Like, it wasn't bothering him. And I was immediately suspicious. I thought, yeah, this is probably the guy. How does this guy get to a fence with a tactical rifle and a sight on it, and get a bead on the former president of the United States?
Guys, stop saying he's drunk, okay? He's a Florida sheriff. He has to be. It's fucked up. It's his culture, sweetie. You guys are being annoying, dude. He has to be drunk on the job. It's just the natural state of a Florida sheriff. What's next? You're going to get mad at him for doing a hate crime? What has become of this country? We used to be a nation. A beautiful nation where Florida sheriffs could do hate crimes and drive drunk. And now people get mad when you see a Florida sheriff slurring his speech and shit. It's like fucked up. I'm skipping this part. I don't even want to see it.
They recovered a GoPro camera. They recovered bullet deflecting plates, and those plates were hanging on the fence. So we saw that in the images they released last evening. New reaction, Wall Street Journal editorial board. They say, quote, the failure of another assassination attempt against Donald Trump on Sunday, the second in 2 months, is a great relief, but also another warning about our deranged politics. Kayleigh McEnany with us now. Bit of commentary on what she's observing. Good morning to you on this Monday. How do you piece this together, Kayleigh?
Yeah, look, when I see that Wall Street Journal piece, I think people on both sides of the aisle need to stop back and reflect before they send out any sort of message on social media. Does this add to the politically caustic time we're in or detract from it before sending out a message on either side? I only hold the shooter responsible for his actions. That being said, the 2 assassination attempts have come against former President Trump, both of them. Really unprecedented to see this. And then in the immediate aftermath, you have someone like Rachel Venman, whose husband was the Trump impeachment witness for the first one. She comes out and says, no ears were harmed, carry on with your Sunday afternoon. You've lost touch with humanity. And then when I think back more broadly.
Bro, this isn't like, dude, we're not talking about like a black grandmother who works at a fucking poll station, you know what I mean? Because Donald Trump has actually invited a shit ton of fucking harm to those people, and nobody gives a fuck. But those are average people. We're talking about Donald Trump, the president, okay? Former president. Like, when people meet his standard and refuse to reckon with like how this kind of violence is happening to someone like Donald Trump, when he has brought about this kind of violence for normal people on a regular fucking basis as the former president, like, you can't turn around and be like, wow, we got to stop this violent rhetoric. Donald Trump hasn't stopped this violent rhetoric. Since the second assassination attempt, he's probably tweeted even more times with violent rhetoric than the last one. Like, what are we talking about? The times Trump has advocated for violence from Axios, May 2nd, 2022. This is the direct cause for violence, mind you.
If you believe hook, line, and sinker, things that have been said about President Trump, you believe that he wants a national abortion ban, that he is against IVF, you believe that he's for Project 2025, that he wants a bloodbath, that he called neo-Nazis fine people, all of those fact-checked as false. But then you see Hakeem Jeffries, 2 hours after this incident, tweet out, extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban in Trump's Project 2025. He then puts out a statement condemning this, but then this morning is right back to Project 2025 language. We all need to look at our rhetoric.
This is not going to work. I mean, Democrats are fucking cowards. They're cowards of the highest order, but like, the demand that they stop campaigning against Donald Trump is so insane. Like, how comfortable are you? How entitled are you, dude? It's wild to me.